yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. Man, how you all doing today? It's Thursday, November 2nd, and it is 11:05 in the afternoon. I'm getting ready to cook me up some lunch and relax and enjoy my day. And yesterday I went for a nice long nature hike, and I shared you guys a video with that. I got up yesterday morning and I played some music, and then I went out to the park and walked around for a few hours. Then I came home and I played some more music, and I was wanting to just show you guys what I was playing yesterday, because it's a very relaxing day of listening to music, man. I tell you, there's nothing like listening to some beautiful music on some tube mono blocks and on a turntable with some old JBL speakers, man. I'm telling you, there's just nothing like it. It's absolutely an experience. And we are really blessed as individuals, to have copies of analog music to enjoy, man. So I just wanted to share that with you, because that's it's my passion. It's your passion. And we're all curious too. What is he listening to yesterday? So let's talk about some music. This is Kenny Burrell. Now, I bought this record here pretty recently, and what it is, let me take my glasses off so I can read. But it says, "In some very special friends, Ellington is forever." So it's like Kenny Burrell and other musicians. And when I first played this, I couldn't even get through the whole album. It's a gatefold double album, and it's very old, loungy type music. Okay, it's very dated music. I think this album came out in '71. So then I put it back and I let it sit there for a little bit, and I didn't put it away. I left it in the living room sitting there. And I was going through them the other day, and I was like, I'm going to play this again, okay? And I was more relaxed, okay? You have to be in the right mindset a lot of times in order to really encapsulate the music and what's going on here. So I had time, and I was feeling good, and I was relaxed, and I put this back on. And I realized and recognized on this album, not just Kenny Burrell, not just the Duke Ellington vibe, but there's a bass player, and let's see here. It says there's 3 bass players: George Mraz, Stanley Gilbert, and Monk Montgomery. But the bass on this thing is absolutely fantastic. So it's like the bass is underlined, okay? It always is. Like when the bass is played, there's always something in the forefront of the music. So sometimes it's hard to pick out the bass. But once I got dialed in on the bass, and it just was wonderful. The flow was through the roof. This is on that beautiful Fantasy label. And the sound quality is really good, man. Really good sound quality. Wasn't a very expensive album. Then after that, now this was before I went hiking, I listened to that. This was pre-hike. Then I put this album on here, Joe Thomas, Feelings from Within, man. And this is just your old, funky, I think this came out in the early 70s. Joe Thomas was born in 1933, I believe. He's departed from us. But man, look at this cover, man. How spectacular is that cover? And it's a gatefold. He's a flutist, okay? Joe Thomas is a flutist. There's a lot of dudes that like the flute, and he does a really good job. This is a jazz album. It has tinges of psychedelia in it. Now, the thing that the turn off on this album is when I first put this album on, it's kind of boring, and I don't know, maybe they might do that on purpose. It's very traditionally, boppy type jazz, man. Okay. And it's like a minute or two into the album, man. It just shifts gears, man. There's some shit that goes down, and it's just like, holy shit, man. This thing is it turns into be a banger of an album. It's super funky. It's on the Groove Merchant album label here. And I'm pretty sure that this is probably an original. You could pick these up for a good price. They're not cheap, but they're not too expensive. If you're into funk and soul and psychedelia, now I'm not going to say that it's like a psych album, because it's not a psych album. I'm just saying, man, they do go to the fringes of experimental psychedelia. You can see with the cover, but it's a very, very good album. And then, before the hike, this is still pre-hike, I put on some of this, man. This is another Kenny Burrell, Jimmy Smith, Johnny Griffin, Mike Baker. This is a banger, man. This album is absolutely fantastic, man. It is fantastic. And this is on the Electra Musician. Yeah. So I just had that thing going yesterday morning. You know, I mean, it's morning. It's coffee time. You know what I'm saying? You're sitting there, you're eating a little bit of a granola bar. You're having a cup of coffee. And man, what, you know what I'm saying? So this was my last album. Then I was like, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get ready to go hiking. So I got up and went hiking. And when I came home, you know, I had dinner, you know, I smoked a stogie and I got relaxed. And I went into the house and I said, man, I want to listen to some beautiful killer music, man. And I was like, I want to hear some more old school music. So believe it or not, man, this is what I grabbed. Beatles yesterday and today. This is an absolutely beautiful album, man. This thing sounds amazing. There's one little spot on this particular album. I've probably got 5 copies of this album. But this copy here, it's got a little bird, like a bird with this beak. And there's like a little, you know, little beak mark in it or something. And you'll be listening to it, it'll jump over that. But that doesn't bother me. That would drive a lot of people crazy. But I didn't pay anything for this. My cousin gave me this album. Sound is fantastic. It's very analog. It's a stereo. Yeah, it's a stereo. You know, a lot of people, they really love the old stereo. I believe this is an old copy. So I listened to this yesterday. Drive my car. You know, yesterday. And then it's got that old-timey song, Act Naturally, you know. Act Naturally. Then it's got that song, We Can Work It Out. What Goes On, Day Tripper. You know, it's just a banger. You know, the Beatles, you know, whether you like them or hate them, man, they're there, man. You know, the Beatles, they are definitely there. So I listened to this. I really enjoyed it. This was the perfect album for after my hike. And then after that, I followed it up with another Beatles album. And this one here is Beatles 65. This one has a little bit different vibe on it than this one, the Beatles yesterday and today. This one has a little bit different. It's like it has a little bit, maybe older vibe to it. This is an old copy here. You can tell by how yellow everything is, man. No Reply, I'm a Loser, Babies in Black, Rock and Roll Music. You know, She's a Woman, I'm Feel Fine. So I listened to this entire album. You know, it was beautiful. You know, these are probably original. They're beautiful shape. Beautiful albums. I'm not going to rip my thing trying to get that in there, so we'll just leave it out for a second. And then after the Beatles, Okay, it's getting later in the evening, and I wanted to kind of unwind a little bit, man. So I pulled out some Neil Young, Decade. This is a beautiful album. This is, I believe, an original. I didn't play the entire album. I mean, it's not perfect condition, but it's in really good shape, really good condition. I played side 6. Okay, it's a triple album, gatefold. Um, it's on the Reprise label here, man. Yeah, I played side 6. Just look at the condition of this thing. It's beautiful. That first song on this side 6 is called Like a Hurricane, man. Oh my God, what a song, man. It was just shredded, man. Does Neil Young play the guitar on that song? I'm assuming Neil Young's playing the guitar on that because it is so good, man. It is so trippy and psychedelic, man. He plays that Like a Hurricane. And then Like a Rose is the second song. Cortez the Killer, Campaigner, you know, beautiful, beautiful album. The last song, Long May You Run. So I only played side 6. It's a long side. I mean, it's got an 8-minute song. It's got a 7.5-minute song. And then it's got 3 3-minute songs on there. So I listened to that after the Beatles. Oh, this is an old original, you know. It just sounds wonderful. It sounds as good as the Beatles on the Capitol. You know, the sound quality just sounds fantastic. And it's weird. It's got a poster in here. It actually has a poster. I tried to get the poster out. I can't get the poster out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's glued in there or what. I'm afraid to pull it too hard. I might destroy the album. And then last night, my last album that I spun side B of this album because it was kind of winding me down, bringing me back, you know, and I played Michael Christensen's album, Galactic Clarity. You know, it's just another level, meditative type music, psychedelia, you know, and yeah. I played side B, Rumbling Earth, The Movement, Between the Flame and the Night Sky. Between the Flame and the Night Sky, which is a 9-minute and 58-second song. Floating Above the Sands of Tajnar. Tanar. I don't know how you say that. I'll let you see it. But right there, Tanar. There's no J. But anyway, I played this. Played side B. Man, I was chilled. I was ready to just relax. And that was what I played yesterday, man. And I'm going to play some more music today, you know. So that was yesterday. Yesterday's gone. Today's a new day. And it's a new... Again, I'm going to enjoy some of my music. I've got so much music to enjoy. Why not, man? So that's what I'm spinning. So thanks for hanging out with me. Brother Brian's out of here.